Hare Krishna. So in this verse, we're going to look at three interesting names and their meanings. Again, we have some story time in this verse as well. So the verse goes like this. Sanjaya uvacha eva mukto rishikesho gudakeshena bharata senayor ubhayor madhye sthapayitva rathottamam. Now, what's going on in the previous two verses? Everything is ready for battle, but then Arjuna is feeling a little morose and he is thoughtful more than being morose. And he's saying, I want to understand who are the people who are going to fight against us. And so he's requesting Krishna, Achyuta, by calling him Achyuta, please pull the chariot in between the two armies. Senayor ubhayor madhye ratham sthapayame Achyuta. So now this verse is saying that whatever Arjuna requested for has been done by Krishna. And that's what the verse explains. So it says, Eva mukto rishikesho. Evam, this way, uktaha is to say, Rishikesho, to Krishna, who is Rishikesha, the master of the senses. Eva mukto Rishikesho, who said it? Gudakeshena, by Arjuna, thus addressed by Arjuna. Now Arjuna's name is Gudakesha. Interesting name, right? So we've been looking at the meanings of the names in every single verse. I'm sure you would have already, if you have seen all the past 22 verses, 23 verses, you must know quite a few names and their meanings, either of Arjuna or of Krishna, both. So now he's saying Gudakeshena, by Gudakesha, Arjuna, thus being addressed by Arjuna. Who is he addressing? Krishna. And what's the name of Krishna in this verse? It is Rishikesha. Bhārata. This is spoken by Sanjaya. We saw in the beginning of the verse, right? It says, Sanjaya uvacha. Sanjaya said. So who is Sanjaya speaking to? Of course, Dhritarashtra. So what is he addressing Dhritarashtra as in this particular verse? Bhārata. Now we are going to see an interesting story of why he's called Bhārata. And who else other than Dhritarashtra is also addressed as Bhārata. That also we will see. And then what happens? Gudakeshena Bhārata, Senayor, armies, Ubhayor, two, Madhye, in between, Ratham, chariot, Sthapaya, Sthapayitva, Ratha Uttamam. So the Lord brought this amazing chariot, this excellent chariot, Ratha Uttamam, the best of chariots, excellent chariot. And he sthapayitva, we say sthapana, right? In the temples when deities are being installed in a particular position, in a particular dais, where the Garbhagraha, as we call, that is called sthapana. Like that, sthapayitva means to place the ratha. So this verse, we're going to specifically see the meaning of three different names. So first name, we already know, Rishikesha. And here we're seeing that Rishikesha means master of the senses, lord of the senses. Why is his name used here? Because the Lord understands the mind of Arjuna. Arjuna is not speaking all these words, the extended meanings that we saw in the past two verses as to how he's going back and thinking about all the evil things that Duryodhana has done, and he wants to be there, seeing what others are doing. All of this, so much explanation that we had to hear, Krishna didn't have to hear. He could read the mind of Arjuna. So the name Rishikesha has been given here. As Rishikesha, as the master of the senses, he was able to understand the senses of Arjuna, especially what's running in his mind. And so as soon as Arjuna said it, Krishna did not even speak one extra word. He didn't say, hey, I'm the Supreme Lord, I'm God, don't instruct me. He didn't say that first thing. Second thing, he did not ask, why am I supposed to take it in the middle? Now you're supposed to start shooting arrows. Sometimes we become that, right? We go ahead and start instructing people Once, twice, if somebody takes our instructions and we reach a position, then we start instructing all the time, right? But Krishna is not doing that. Krishna understands the mind of Arjuna. That's what we don't. We can't, which the Lord is capable of. So he takes the Ratha, parks it right in the middle of two armies, Senayor Ubhayor Madhye. Okay, coming back to the names, why Bharata? We know that India is called Bharata Varsha. So before it was named as Bharata Varsha, it was called Ilavati Varsha. So why was it named Bharat? It was because of the king Bharata. Which king Bharata? We know many, many kings who are named as Bharata, right? Who are the kings you would know? Can you put it on the description? Can you put it on the comment section below? What are the different Bharatas that you know from the scriptures? So here are the three Bharatas that Prabhupada is mentioned, and I think I also remember these three Bharatas. One is Bharata from Ramayana, Lord Rama's brother. Another is Bharata, who is the son of King Rishabhadeva. Third is King Bharata, who is the son of Dushyanta and Shakuntala. So now, which Bharata, after which Bharata is India named Bharat? So then, scriptures say that it was right after the coronation of Bharata, who is the son of Rishabhadeva, that India was named as Bharat. Before that, it was called Ilavati Varsha. After that, it started being addressed as Bharata Varsha. So what about the other Bharata, who was the son of King Dushyanta and Shakuntala? King Dushyant, one fine day when he was just wandering in the forest, he met this beauty, Shakuntala, who is the daughter of sage Vishwamitra, and Ramba, who is the celestial beauty. So the daughter born to them is, the son born to them is King Bharata. So when he was young, the father left him because there was a curse by Kanva Muni towards Dushyanta, because of which he forgets Shakuntala. So he leaves Shakuntala with this little child Bharata in the forest, and he goes back to his kingdom. After some time, they meet each other, they come back, Shakuntala reminds him of the past, and then he remembers. That aside, King Bharata, as a child also, he was very, very strong. He would play with lions and tigers as if children would play with cats and dogs. That's how powerful he was. And then he also became the king. So here, Dhritarashtra has been addressed as Bharata because he is the descendant of Bharata. Which Bharata? Dushyanta and Shakuntala's son Bharata. So anyone who is in that lineage are termed as Bharata, which means descendant of Bharata dynasty. So whether it is Dhritarashtra, or it is Duryodhana, or the 100 Kauravas, or the Pandavas, all of them are termed as Bharata in different verses. So let's not get confused by hearing the word, oh, in that verse, Dhritarashtra was called Bharata. In this verse, why are we calling Arjuna as Bharata? It's because all of them are descendants of Bharata, who is the son of Dushyanta and Shakuntala. Next, Gudakesha. Why is Arjuna named as Gudakesha? Okay, again we are going to split the word Gudakesha, just like Hrishikesha. How did we split it? We split it as Rishika and Isha. Lord is Isha, Hrishika is senses, Lord of the senses or master of the senses. Similarly, if we split Gudakesha, Gudaka and Isha. Isha is again master or Lord. Gudaka means sleep. Yes? So, if this is the first time you're hearing this word, please put it on the comment section and write it once so that you will remember. Right? In Kali Yuga, remembering, my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Bhaktivikas Swami says, in Kali Yuga, remembering means remembering to write what we have thought about. So it remains there. Right? So then just write it down on the comments box. Gudaka means sleep. It also means ignorance, so that you'll remember it always. All right. So who is Gudakesha here? Arjuna is Gudakesha. Why is he referred like that? Gudaka just does not mean sleep. So when we see mode of ignorance, someone who is always tired, always wanting to sleep, always wanting to just laze around, this person is in the mode of ignorance. So, sleep does not just mean sleep, it also means ignorance. Now, because Hrishikesha, Krishna, was always present with Arjuna, Arjuna was a best friend of Krishna. If Krishna, who is all knowledgeable, is always with Arjuna, how can Arjuna ever be ignorant? Arjuna could not even in his sleep forget about Krishna. That's how he was connected, that's how much he was thinking of Krishna. So, Arjuna could never fall asleep, or Arjuna could never become ignorant. Ignorance couldn't touch him. And that is the deeper meaning that this particular verse brings, that because Hrishikesha, Krishna, who's the master of the senses, was always with Arjuna, Arjuna could become the master of sleep, whether it is of the physical senses or it is of the subtle senses, the ignorance. Both of it could not attack Arjuna at any point. That is the meaning of Gudakesha. So that's the verse for the day. We saw three names and their meanings: Rishikesha, Gudakesha, and Bhārata. So just to reiterate it or to remember it, you could put on the comment section and write a few words about what you understood from this particular three different names that you have heard today. So we come to the end of the verse. Arjuna here, who is Gudakesha, who's won over ignorance, and Krishna, understanding his mind, brings the chariot and parks it right in the middle of the two armies so that Arjuna could get to see who were the people that he's going to fight with, who are the people that he's going to fight against, who were all supporting the evil-minded Duryodhana. Hare Krishna.